Let me tell you something. Entering the 8th inning, the New York Mets had a 96.1% chance to win that game. Phillies just 3.9%.
How'd that
Ricky
go?
Bo didn't go well. What the Phils do, they only overcame a really shoddy start, unfortunately, by Ranger Suarez. 3 errors by Alec Bohm. And, 2 for 14 by their 1 through 4 hitters. They beat the Mets 5-4, 3-1. This is how they build a legend. Calm me down, Ricky Bo.
No, you're good. You're good. The greatest thing about this is you brought up the errors, right, early in the game. Alec Bohm's probably down in the dumps. He knows he had a bad start. You look at Ranger Suarez. He had the bad start. And how about Nick Nelson? Are you kidding me?
Player of the game as well.
Coming into this game, didn't look like those innings were really going to mean anything because the Phillies' offense was just kind of stale. They were stale, let's face it, for a long period in this game. But as we know, coming into this season, they're never out of it. And this is exactly what was proven in this ball game today, that they are not out of a game. Because all it took is, Real Muto got that one pitch to hit. He hits it out of the ballpark. All of a sudden, there's life. You know what I mean? It's not always like that. It wasn't like that last year. It wasn't like that the year before. This year is different. This year, this team knows that they could feed off of each other's success. It's exactly what happened in that 8th inning. It's a thing of beauty because now Alec Bohm could go in the clubhouse and forget about what he just went through. Ranger could forget about his outing. Things could have been different in that first inning. There's no doubt about it. It could have been a 0-run inning when you really think about it. Instead, things went a little bit haywire for the Phillies, but they kept fighting. But I look at Nick Nelson, and I think that's the MVP of this ballgame.
I agree with you. Let's see what John Kruk thinks. We go across the street to Citizens Bank Park. Johnny called the game, of course, with Tom McCarthy. Crocker, it's 3-0 Mets after their first at bat, and you're thinking no, because we heard Joe Girardi say pregame, these games are important. Reese Hoskins said it after yesterday's game. This is going to be intense. It's going to be fun, but intense. It's divisional rivalry. What did you think after the first, and what do you think now?
Well, after the first inning, I'm thinking, my gosh, I hope we can keep from getting run ruled. But, like you said, give Nelson credit, Sir Anthony, Brad Hand. The bullpen was absolutely fantastic in this game, and that's the only way you can have a comeback like that in the 8th inning is your bullpen has to keep them, keep the game close and give the offense a chance. And thank goodness that the offense decided to show up in that 8th inning with great at-bats, hustle, not taking anything for granted. Castellanos with that mad dash from first to home on that ball by Reese, and then Didi with the hustle double to drive in Reese to give the Phillies a lead, and Brad Hand was fantastic in the 9th.
You know what? You talk about Bohm. Obviously, his defense is a little sketchy. He wasn't very good tonight defensively. He's not. How good is it that he's not bringing that up to the plate with him?
As a young player, it's the hardest thing in the world to do. It's hard to separate offense and defense when you're a young player. And remember this. Now, last year, you guys, he struggled offensively, which is something he's never done in his life. And he started struggling offensively. You had to think that, well, maybe it's the defense that's causing him to think too much defensively and not focusing on his offense. And you have to separate the two. I think he's learned to separate the two just by what we saw tonight. And if he does, his third base play, I think, is going to get better just because he has been able to separate the two. And I know Bobby Dickerson's going to be working with him and chatting with him over the next, 5-6 months?
Yeah. Lastly, John, Kyle Schwarber doesn't have a hit. Real Muto has one, but what a hit. It's a home run. Harper doesn't have a hit. Castellanos has just one hit. They're batting 143, 154, 071, and 200 for Castellanos. When they start getting it going, it would seem to be like they're going to be pretty scary, right?
Well, Michael, I think that tells you how deep this team is. They're 3-1. And I know, everyone says, well, Oakland is rebuilding, whatever. Well, Oakland just spanked the Tampa Bay Rays tonight down in Tampa. And, when you can win when your big boys aren't having great games, and you can win with the bottom of your lineup like the Phillies basically did today. And now JT hit the big home run and Castellanos with that mad dash. But, look, you can win games without these guys. Look, last year, if we didn't have Schwarber, Castellanos, and Reese was playing injured for a lot of the year, We lose that game. No question, we lose that game. But our lineup right now is so deep. There's just really no breaks in it, and the Phillies finally wore the Mets down enough to where they scored a 5 spot in the 8th.
And now tomorrow, it's Zach Wheeler making his debut. Tyler McGill for the Mets, and then we're going to have the Scherzer-Nola matchup coming. Yeah, Ricky Bo.
Hey, John, real quick, is there any reason why they didn't use Knable tonight?
Yeah, I have no idea. I was wondering that myself, and T-Mac, he didn't know. He talked to Joe today before the game and before batting practice, and I don't think there was anything said of Knable not being available. So I don't know. Maybe maybe Joe felt like that with Girardi coming up and they pinch hit. They only had lefties really on their bench, and Dom Smith pinch hit for Girardi. So I figured Brad Hand. Then McCann, and then Nimmo. So you got 2 out of the 3 hitters in the inning for the Mets were lefties. So maybe that's why Joe went with Brad Hand.
Mr. Hand did a nice job. What about tomorrow? Give me your preview of tomorrow.
Well, Wheeler needs to go. I know he's going to be limited, but hopefully he can have some quick innings. And look, at some point the offense is going to have to, and I think they will, but early. They have to get it going early, and hopefully they can build off what they did tonight. Now, McGill was really good opening day for the Mets, so, it's not like he's going to be a slouch. So, these guys, hopefully they can drop a couple runs early, let Wheeler relax, let the defense relax, and just go play baseball.
All
right, just another 20 minutes and you're finished. Just hang on.
Got you covered.
You're the best, baby. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, Johnny. Appreciate it always. John Kruk.
Gentlemen.
On the mic with Tom McCarthy. Look at the Phillies bullpen. Mr. Bullpen, Nick Nelson, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Brad Hand. Wow.
It's so funny that when guys go into games like this, I mean, I can tell you, how many times till you're blue in the face, hey, you get this. Go into this game, just keep them where they're at, we'll get some runs for you. Keep them where they're at, we'll get and I'm sure, relievers normally go in there and just say, well, I'm just going to go in there and try to do my job and get out of there. And that's exactly what Nick Nelson does. He has no say on the offensive part, but you rarely see that the team will come back after that.
Yeah.
But, there was enough time in this game, but it seemed like they waited forever. But they got the job done. The offense came through later on, and finally, you get those are the unsung heroes, right?
Yeah.
But tonight, they look like heroes.
But also,
they could do their job every single night, and sometimes it's a pat on the back from your teammates because they know what you did. But this is the type of game where it's a feel-good game for those guys because they know they went in there and they protected their teammates, right? You go in there, you shut the other team down, you give your team opportunity after opportunity to go in there and score some runs and chip away. Well, they didn't chip away. They slammed the door in that 8th inning when they came in and scored the 5 runs. So, you know what? Hats off to the bullpen because everybody in that bullpen did a great job.
Didi, 2 hits. Segura, 1 hit. Bohm on base 3 times. They pick up for the guys at the top of the order.
Segura gets a hit every game.
Segura's unbelievable. He should be an all-star.
Yes,
he should have been an all-star last season. What's Joe Girardi think of this big come-from-behind win? Here's the skipper post-game.
A lot of stuff tonight.
Really? I thought it was a pretty simple game.
To wrap it, it's just how exciting from your perspective is that?
It's a great come from behind win. We hadn't swung the bats in basically 2 days, and somehow Alec walks and we get a little flair, and it just leads to a lot of good things. Big hit from JT. Costi works a walk. Reese hits a double. He scores, and then Didi gets a big hit. And the guy that probably won't get a ton of attention is Nick Nelson, the job that he did. He saved our bullpen. He had not been up 4 times, and he was up 5 ups, right? And he did a tremendous job. So just a lot of contributions all throughout, and good win.
What do you say to Alec after that kind of defensive performance?
Well, he responded. He turned a double play. He made a couple other plays. He got on base 3 times. It's not an easy game, right? It's not an easy game, and I look at the first error, which I think kind of led to the next couple. He was trying to do too much, right? He should have ate the ball, And that's just understanding your clock inside with a base runner that runs as well as Marte. And I think he rushed the throw, and it led to an error, and it kind of led to a couple more. But proud of his at-bats, the progress that he's made offensively. He was a big part of our offense tonight, so I think he's growing up a little bit. I mean, we got to do some more, but I think he's growing up.
No question he's had great at-bats in the 2 games he's played. With the stakes the way they are around here, can you afford to put him up?
Yeah, I mean, we have to get him better. I mean, that's the bottom line. We have to get him better. Find a way. And we'll continue to work on it and see what we do tomorrow.
Hand in the knife just because you didn't have enough time there to get Knable going?
Yeah, Corey was down today, so we weren't going to use him. He has some flu-like symptoms. Flu, right? I don't want to alarm anyone, right? So we weren't going to use him today.
I guess we should have looked. Was he even in the bullpen?
No.
Were you trying to bring Camargo? Were you trying to say that Camargo hadn't been signaled in?
No. I said, no, that's the guy. And I think Ryan saw him swinging left-handed. So when they brought the left-hander in, he saw a right-handed bat. And he's like, well, that's not who you had. He was left-handed. And I said, well, you're right. He is. He's also right-handed.
Are you aware of this video of Alex?
I am.
What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's a kid that was frustrated. I don't think the kid was referring to, the city of Philadelphia, the fans. I think he was referring to the situation he was in. I mean, put yourself in his shoes, right? That's got to be a tough place. I told him, I've been there. I've had 3 pass balls. I've had pass balls to lose the game. And in that situation, you hate everything, right? Because, I mean, think about what he was probably feeling out there. I mean, he's a young man that has worked really hard and has to overcome some things, but it was not a fun situation to be at the time. Yeah, I mean, I think you always worry about players' confidence. But again, this is a game that you fail a lot, right? We failed kind of offensively for like 16 innings, and then all of a sudden, bang, right? So the one thing that I think his progress was his at-bats were good after, right? His at-bats were real good. And I'm not so sure he would have done that last year.
Will Alex play third tomorrow?
Probably not. McGill's more of a, you want to use left-handed hitters tomorrow.
Inside the box score, and take a look at Alec Bohm batting in the 8th spot, 1 for 1, but he also had 2 walks, a double, and then he had those 3 errors. And
Been on base all 5 times.
been on base all 5 times. He's the first Phillies infielder with 3 errors in a game since Cody Ashe in 2014. First Phillies player with 3 errors in the first 3 innings of a game since Todd Zeile in 1996.
I think it's 6
times. All right, here is Alec Bohm explaining his play tonight and what he is alleged to have said or lip sync.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, this is during the 2nd inning. Here's Alec postgame.
Yeah, everybody did their part. Everybody had good at-bats, and, it's only a matter of time with this team. Nobody really thinks we're out of it. And
Did the ending, make things better for you? It was a tough night on the field for you.
yeah, for sure. It's everybody's in here's got my back, and it's just I'm glad I got some teammates that could pick me up there and make up for my mistakes.
What about this video that surfaced? Have you heard about it and seen it?
Yeah, I've heard. Look, emotions got the best of me. I said it, and do I mean it? No. And it's a frustrating night for me. Obviously, made a few mistakes in the field, and look, these people, these fans, they just want to win. And you heard it. We come back. They're great, and I guess I'm sorry for them. I don't mean that, and emotion just got the best of me.
So you actually love this play?
Yeah, you know what? I do. Yeah.
Alec, said he thought, the first play where maybe that ball should have not to throw maybe affect
Yeah,
that
I shouldn't have thrown it. Yeah, I'm just trying to go make a play, and I see the ball deflect off Ranger, and probably just arm fake and look for the next runner. But learn from it. Don't make the mistake again.
Did it make it harder to refocus? I mean, you had like 6 balls hit you in 3 innings.
Yeah, no, they kept me busy. Look, made some mistakes. Happens. Shouldn't happen that much. I'm better than that. I know that. Everybody knows that. Just bounce back from it.
You gave some solace, and you're swinging the bat pretty well. I think you haven't made an out at the plate yet.
Yeah.
Does that give you some good vibes maybe?
Yeah, for sure. Look, spring training started slow. Just getting my rhythm and everything, and I feel like I'm in a good spot now at the plate. And I'm happy with where I'm at, and the results are there. So it's good.
What was it like that? Like I think somebody mentioned, you kind of started the rally in the 8th inning. You worked the walk and went from first to third and scored the first run. Does that help you leave the night feeling pretty good?
Well, the win is what helps me leave feeling good, because I put us in a little bit of a hole. And everybody. Look, you saw those at bats in the 8th inning. Everybody was locked in. Everybody had a great at bat. It was really special.
What was that dugout like in the 8th inning?
It was exciting. You kind of feel it coming. Once that line gets moving, it's hard to stop. Hitting's contagious. You hear that all the time, and it got contagious there in that 8th inning.
Thanks, guys.
Alec Bohm, glad I have teammates that could pick me up after those 3 errors, and then said regarding what he's alleged to have said, he admitted to it, said emotions got the best of me. I said it. Do I mean it? No. I just want to win. We come back, they're great, the fans. Emotions got the best of me. How do you think he handled it?
Perfect. I don't think you could have handled it any better. Come right out and say you did it, admit what you did, and you know what happens? Water off a duck's back at that point. Nobody cares anymore. Okay, he said what he said, let's move on. That's exactly what you should. That's exactly how you should handle something like that. If you said something, all right, you know what? It's a heat of the moment, heat of the battle. Now it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
If he said, no, maybe I didn't do it, guess what would happen?
Oh,
it would be going on for weeks.
That'd be bad.
Nicely
so
done,
we
Alec.
forgive and we forget this time. He won't say anything like that again. It's a difficult game, everybody. Difficult game.